Welcome, gentle soul, to a place where time moves differently, where the ancient trees whisper secrets that only the night can tell. Find your most comfortable position now. Feel your body settling into this sacred space, as if you're leaning against the warm, sturdy trunk of an old oak tree that has stood for centuries. Tonight, we embark on a journey into the mysterious forests, where shadows dance with moonlight and creatures move with the wisdom of thousands of years. Let your breathing begin to slow, matching the rhythm of the forest itself, deep and steady, like the roots that stretch far beneath the earth. The forest is calling to you, not with urgency, but with the patient invitation of an old friend. Close your eyes and feel yourself transported to the edge of an ancient woodland, where the air smells of moss and fallen leaves, and every breath fills you with the peace that only nature can provide. Now, let's learn the sacred breathing of the woodland. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Imagine drawing in the rich, earthy scent of the forest floor, the sweet fragrance of pine needles, the subtle perfume of night-blooming flowers hidden among the ferns. Hold this forest breath for just a moment. Feel how it settles in your chest, like morning mist settling in a valley. Then release it slowly, letting go of any tension, any worries from the day, exhaling them into the forest where they can become nourishment for the trees. With each breath, you sink deeper into the forest's embrace, your heart rate slowing to match the gentle pulse of sap rising in the trees, your muscles relaxing as if you're melting into a bed of soft moss. The forest accepts you completely, just as you are, without judgment, without expectation. Continue this forest breathing, in with the peace of nature, out with the stress of the modern world. Feel yourself becoming part of this ancient ecosystem where healing happens naturally and rest comes as easily as dew forming on leaves. Listen, can you hear it? The forest is never truly silent. Even in the deepest part of the night, there's a gentle symphony playing all around us. The soft rustling of leaves overhead, like whispered conversations between old friends. The gentle creaking of branches, swaying in the barely perceptible breeze. Somewhere in the distance, a twig snaps under the careful paw of a nocturnal wanderer. The sound echoes softly through the trees, reminding us that life continues its ancient dance, even as the world sleeps. There's comfort in knowing that somewhere, creatures are moving safely through their nighttime routines. The soft patter of a small stream, meandering between moss-covered rocks, its voice like a gentle lullaby speaking in the universal language of flowing water. This stream has been singing the same peaceful song for generations, carrying stories from deep in the forest to places beyond our imagining. Listen to the subtle chorus of night insects, their tiny voices weaving together, creating a blanket of sound that wraps around the forest. like a mother's humming to her sleeping child. These smallest creatures playing the most important role in maintaining the forest's nighttime harmony. In the far reaches of the forest, you might catch the ghostly call of an owl, soft and haunting, like a question posed to the night. Who moves through my domain? The call echoes gently between the trees and is answered by another owl far across the woodland. A conversation in the ancient language of the night. The delicate scurrying of tiny feet, perhaps a deer mouse, making its way across the forest floor. Its movements careful and purposeful, each step placed with the precision of a creature that knows every root, every fallen log, every safe hiding place in its woodland home. Occasionally, the gentle splash of a beaver working diligently in its hidden pond. The sound carries through the still night air, reminding us that, even in rest, the forest continues its eternal cycles of growth and renewal, of building and creating, of living in harmony with the natural world. These sounds don't disturb the peace. Instead, they enhance it, like instruments in a meditation, each voice adding to the overall sense of life continuing safely, naturally, in the protective embrace of the ancient trees. Imagine yourself standing in the world's most magnificent cathedral. But this cathedral wasn't built by human hands. It was grown over centuries by the patient work of nature herself. The massive tree trunks rising like ancient pillars, their branches interlacing overhead, creating a living vault more beautiful than any architecture humans have ever designed. This forest is one of Earth's most complex ecosystems, a place where millions of species live together in intricate balance. Each creature, from the largest bear to the smallest beetle, playing its vital role in the grand symphony of life. Every relationship carefully woven into the fabric of existence. Here, life and death dance together in the most natural way. Fallen trees become nurseries for new seedlings. Decomposing leaves feed the soil that nourishes the giants. Nothing is wasted. Everything has purpose. Everything is connected in ways both visible and mysterious. The forest teaches us about patience, about the wisdom of slow growth, about the strength that comes from deep roots, and the beauty of working together in community, where each individual contributes to the health and well-being of the whole. In this woodland community, every creature is part of one great extended family. The trees themselves are like wise grandparents, sharing resources through their underground networks, sending nutrients to those in need, communicating dangers and opportunities through chemical signals we're only beginning to understand. The cycles of the forest mirror the cycles of our own lives. The daily rhythm of waking and sleeping, the seasonal changes of growth and rest, the longer cycles of youth, maturity, and renewal. Here in the forest, we can feel ourselves as part of these eternal rhythms, rather than separate from them. Some forest residents sleep during the day and come alive at night. Others do the opposite, creating a perfect system where the forest is never truly empty, never completely still, always pulsing with the gentle heartbeat of ongoing life. This is the wisdom of diversity, of sharing time and space so all can thrive. Tonight, we're invited guests in this ancient community, observers who move with respect and quiet wonder through the homes of creatures who have perfected the art of living in harmony with their world. Now, feel yourself beginning to shrink, becoming smaller, lighter, until you can move through the forest like a whisper of wind, invisible to the creatures, but able to witness their most intimate moments, their most natural behaviors. You are becoming a silent observer of the night's most beautiful secrets. Imagine yourself with the quiet footsteps of a forest spirit, able to walk on fallen leaves without making a sound, to slip between the trees like moonlight, discovering the hidden pathways that only the animals know, the secret trails that wind between ancient roots and disappear into the mysterious depths of the woodland. Feel your senses becoming more acute, like those of the forest creatures. Your hearing growing sensitive to the slightest sounds. Your vision adapting to see in the gentle darkness. Your sense of smell awakening to distinguish the 1,000 subtle scents that tell the stories of who has passed this way and what has happened here. You are being invited into the most exclusive club on Earth, the society of those who know the forest at its most peaceful hour, when defenses are lowered and the true personalities of its inhabitants shine through like stars through the canopy above. Before we begin exploring, feel yourself growing roots like the great trees around you. These invisible roots extend deep into the earth, connecting you to the ancient wisdom of this place, grounding you in the unshakable peace that comes from knowing you belong here. Like a tree, you are perfectly stable, perfectly supported, your roots drawing up all the calm, all the serenity that the earth has stored over countless seasons. Feel this stability rising through your body, from your feet, up through your legs, your spine, filling your entire being with the unshakable peace of deep roots. Now you are ready to meet the residents of every level of this forest, from the creatures who make their homes in the highest branches to those who tunnel through the rich soil below the surface, each with their own stories, their own wisdom, their own ways of finding peace in the darkness. If you're still awake to hear this, leave a comment with the word "known light," and I'll know you're one of those rare listeners who can journey this deep into the forest's mysteries. Ready now? let's begin our gentle exploration of the magical world that awakens when the sun goes down and the forest begins to breathe in its most natural rhythm. Now, with your roots deep and strong, we begin our gentle ascent into the highest realm of the forest, where the canopy spreads like a vast green ocean, and the most skilled aerial hunters make their ancient homes. Feel yourself rising slowly through the layers of branches, each level revealing new secrets, new wonders. Here, 50 feet above the forest floor, the world transforms into something magical. The thick branches interweave like the fingers of old friends holding hands, creating highways and hidden chambers where creatures move with the confidence of those who have lived here for countless generations. The air is different here, cooler, fresher, touched by winds that have traveled over miles of wilderness. Between the leaves, moonlight filters down in silver patches, creating a natural cathedral of light and shadow, where movement requires both courage and grace. This is the domain of the forest's most mysterious residents, the silent hunters, who have perfected the ancient art of moving without sound, of seeing without being seen, of hunting with precision that borders on the supernatural. Welcome to the kingdom of the owls. In the deep hollow of an ancient oak lives one of the forest's most magnificent residents, the great horned owl, with ear tufts that rise like small horns against the moonlit sky. Her amber eyes, large as teacups, hold the wisdom of countless nighttime hunts and the patience of a creature who knows that stillness is the greatest weapon. She weighs only 3 pounds, yet her presence commands respect from creatures many times her size. Her powerful talons can exert over 300 pounds of crushing force, more than enough to secure even the largest prey. But tonight, she sits quietly, simply observing her woodland territory with the calm authority of a true apex predator. Her feathers are a masterpiece of natural engineering, each one designed for absolute silence. The leading edges, soft and fringed, break up the airflow that would normally create the whistle of wings in flight. She can glide between trees as quietly as a falling leaf, as soundlessly as your own dreams. Watch her now as she turns her head in that impossibly smooth rotation, nearly 270 degrees without moving her shoulders at all. Her neck contains 14 vertebrae, twice as many as humans. This extraordinary flexibility allows her to track movement while remaining perfectly still. perfectly camouflaged against the bark. Deeper in the forest, in the cozy hollow of a dead elm tree, lives a much smaller but equally remarkable hunter, the eastern screech owl. No larger than a robin, yet possessing all the hunting skills of her giant cousins. Her soft, trilling call echoes gently through the night air like a lullaby for the forest itself. Her feathers come in two beautiful phases. Some are gray as moonlight, others rusty red like autumn leaves. This natural camouflage makes her nearly invisible when she presses her compact body against the tree trunk, becoming one with the bark itself. A master of hiding in plain sight. Unlike her larger cousins, she prefers the smaller prey, insects that dance in the moonbeams, tiny mice that scurry through the leaf litter below, earthworms emerging after rain. Her hunting style is more delicate, more patient, like an artist choosing exactly the right moment to create something beautiful. Listen as her call drifts through the trees, a soft descending trill that seems to calm even the most nervous forest creatures. It's as if she's saying, all is well. The night is peaceful. You can rest easy under my watchful care. Her voice becoming part of your own settling heartbeat. Moving through a small clearing where an old barn stands weathered and wise, we encounter perhaps the most mysterious of all the owl family, the barn owl, with her heart-shaped face, white as fresh snow, and eyes like dark pools that seem to hold the secrets of eternity. She moves like a beautiful ghost through the moonlit air. Her hearing is so extraordinarily acute that she can locate a mouse moving under 6 inches of snow in complete darkness. Her face acts like a satellite dish, focusing the tiniest sounds into her asymmetrical ears, one slightly higher than the other, creating a perfect 3-dimensional map of her acoustic world. When she flies, she appears to float rather than flap, her wings spanning over 3 feet, yet weighing less than a smartphone. Her flight is so silent that sensitive recording equipment can barely detect the whisper of her passage. She is the embodiment of ethereal grace, moving between worlds like a bridge between the seen and the unseen. Her white breast catches and reflects the available moonlight, making her appear to glow from within. As she patrols her territory, she seems less like a hunter than more like a guardian angel, watching over the sleeping forest with gentle vigilance and supernatural beauty. The secret to the owl's silent flight lies in millions of years of evolution, perfecting the art of stealth. Each feather has been redesigned by nature herself to eliminate every possible source of noise, creating wings that move like whispered prayers through the night air. The leading edge of each primary feather is serrated, like a tiny comb. These microscopic fringes break up the smooth flow of air that creates the whooshing sound we associate with bird flight. Instead, the air passes in tiny, silent streams over the wing's surface, creating lift without betraying the hunter's approach. Their wing loading, the ratio of body weight to wing surface area, is exceptionally low. This means they can fly at incredibly slow speeds without stalling, hovering almost motionless above their prey, like feathered helicopters, with infinite patience and supernatural control over their aerial movements. Imagine possessing such mastery over your own movement. Every step perfectly placed, every gesture completely intentional, moving through life with the same quiet confidence that these magnificent birds display every night in their forest cathedral of ancient wisdom. Unlike the frantic chase of many predators, owls practice a different kind of hunting philosophy, one based on patience, observation, and perfect timing. They understand that the best hunters are not always the fastest, but the wisest, the most prepared to the subtle rhythms of their world. An owl will sit motionless on the same perch for hours, simply watching, simply listening, reading the forest like an ancient text. Every small sound, every tiny movement becomes part of a larger story about where the prey animals feel safe, where they travel, when they're most vulnerable. This is meditation in its purest form, complete presence, total awareness without attachment to immediate results. The owl doesn't worry about the next meal, doesn't fret about missed opportunities. She simply remains fully present in each moment, trusting that nature will provide what is needed when it is needed. There's something deeply peaceful about this approach to life, this trust in the natural flow of events, this ability to wait without anxiety, to observe without judgment, to act only when the moment is perfect, and to accept whatever outcome emerges naturally. In the darkness, where we see only black shadows, the owl perceives a world rich with detail and color. Her eyes, proportionally larger than any other bird's, contain millions more light-gathering cells than our human eyes, allowing her to see in conditions we would consider completely dark. But it's not just the size of her eyes that creates this supernatural vision. The structure itself is fundamentally different. Her retinas are packed with rod cells, sensitive to the faintest light, while her pupils can dilate to enormous size, drawing in every available photon from stars, from moon, from the gentle glow of bioluminescent fungi. Her eyes are fixed in their sockets. Unlike ours, they cannot move. But this limitation becomes an advantage, creating incredibly sharp, precise vision, while her flexible neck provides all the movement necessary to scan her environment with methodical thoroughness, missing nothing that moves in her domain. Imagine seeing the world with such clarity, such depth, such perfect focus, moving through darkness with complete confidence, knowing exactly where you are, where you're going, and what lies around every corner. This is the owl's gift. Perfect vision in apparent darkness, complete navigation through uncertainty. As we slowly descend from the canopy, leaving these magnificent hunters to their ancient routines, we carry with us their gifts, their patience, their silence, their ability to see clearly even in darkness, to move with purpose without disturbing the peace around them, to trust in the natural flow of life itself. The owls remind us that power doesn't always announce itself, that strength can be quiet, that wisdom often comes from careful observation rather than constant action. They are the forest's meditation teachers, showing us how to be fully present without being intrusive, how to watch without judging, how to move without disturbing the peace. Tonight, as you drift towards sleep, carry with you the owl's ability to find stillness in activity, to discover peace in alertness, to remain centered and calm no matter what moves through the darkness around you. Let their silent wings brush away any remaining tension from your day. And remember, tomorrow night we'll descend to the middle layers of our forest home, where the acrobats of the woodland, the flying squirrels and forest bats, perform their own aerial ballet in the spaces between the trees. But for now, rest easy under the watchful eyes of these gentle guardians who keep the forest safe throughout the peaceful night. As the night deepens and your breathing grows even more relaxed, we prepare to witness one of nature's most graceful performances. High in the canopy, where moonlight streams through gaps in the leaves, the flying squirrels are beginning to stir from their daytime rest in cozy tree hollows, lined with soft moss and shredded bark. Unlike their busy, ground-dwelling cousins, flying squirrels move with deliberate calm, each action perfectly planned, each leap calculated with mathematical precision. They are the forest's gentle acrobats, proving that grace and efficiency often move together in perfect harmony, like dancers who have rehearsed for a lifetime. Feel yourself growing lighter, more buoyant, as if you too could glide between the trees on invisible currents of warm night air, your body becoming weightless like a feather caught in a gentle breeze, ready to experience the freedom of three-dimensional movement through the forest's natural cathedral, those intertwining branches. These remarkable creatures remind us that there are many ways to travel through life. Not all movement requires frantic energy. Sometimes, the most beautiful journeys happen when we learn to glide, trusting in natural forces to carry us exactly where we need to go, with minimal effort and maximum grace. In the hollow of a mature maple tree, a family of northern flying squirrels huddles together in the most adorable pile of fur and contentment. Their large, dark eyes, like polished obsidian, reflect the moonlight with gentle intelligence, while their incredibly soft, silky fur provides insulation against the cool night air. The secret to their gliding ability lies in the thin membrane called a patagium that stretches between their front and back legs, like a living kite made of the finest natural fabric. When extended, this furry parachute can carry them up to 150 feet through the air in a single, graceful glide. But perhaps most remarkable of all is their landing technique. As they approach their target tree, they pull their tail up toward their belly, creating an air brake that allows them to land soft as a whisper against the bark, immediately scampering to the opposite side of the trunk in case any owls were watching their arrival. Their diet consists mainly of fungi and lichens, making them the forest's specialized gardeners. They spread fungal spores throughout the woodland, helping to maintain the underground networks that connect all forest plants in an invisible web of mutual support and shared nutrients, each glide serving a greater purpose. Watch now as a flying squirrel prepares for launch from her favorite launching perch, 60 feet above the forest floor. She extends her arms and legs, testing the tension in her gliding membrane, like a pilot checking her aircraft before takeoff. Every detail must be perfect. She turns her head side to side, calculating distance, wind direction, landing options. Her large eyes processing multiple variables in seconds that would take us several minutes to compute. This is intuitive mathematics, learned through thousands of glides, perfected through generations of genetic wisdom. Feel the anticipation as she rocks slightly forward and back, building courage for the leap that will carry her into empty space, trusting completely in forces she cannot see, but knows with absolute certainty will support her through her journey to the next tree in her aerial highway. And then, the moment of pure magic. She pushes off, stretching her patagium into a perfect living sail, and begins her graceful descent through layers of moonbeams, moving not like a falling object, but like a piece of shadow that has learned how to dance with gravity itself. From a hollow in an ancient oak, deeper in the forest, comes a different sound, the soft chittering of awakening bats as they prepare for their nightly hunt, their tiny voices creating a symphony of ultrasonic communication, too high for human ears, but felt rather than heard, like distant music playing just beyond the edge of perception. These are little brown bats, each weighing less than a copper penny, yet possessing navigation abilities that surpass the most sophisticated human technology. Their small bodies house brains capable of processing acoustic information at lightning speed, creating detailed, three-dimensional maps of their world through sound alone. The colony numbers perhaps 50 individuals, all related, all working together in perfect coordination, like a well-rehearsed orchestra, where every musician knows exactly when to play their part in the greater symphony of forest life, each bat contributing to the colony's collective wisdom and shared survival. As they begin to emerge from their roost one by one, they fill the air with graceful loops and spirals, testing their wings, calibrating their sonar, greeting each other with tiny chirps of recognition. The forest becoming alive with their aerial ballet, performed in dimensions we can barely imagine. Imagine seeing the world not with light, but with sound. Each bat sends out rapid bursts of ultrasonic calls, up to 200 times per second. These sound waves bounce off every surface, every insect, every leaf, and return to the bat's incredibly sensitive ears, creating a detailed sound picture of everything around them. This biological sonar is so precise that a bat can distinguish between objects only millimeters apart, can identify the species of insect by the unique pattern of sound reflection from its wings, can navigate through dense vegetation at full speed without ever touching a single branch or leaf. It's as if they possess a sixth sense beyond imagination. But echolocation isn't just about avoiding obstacles. It's about reading the stories that objects tell through their acoustic signatures. A moth's fuzzy wings create a different echo than a beetle's hard shell. Water produces one type of reflection, while tree bark produces another. The forest becomes a library of sound patterns, each with its own unique voice. Feel yourself beginning to sense the world in new ways, as if your other senses are awakening to subtleties you never noticed. The way sound bounces off different surfaces, the way air pressure changes around large objects, the way even silence has texture and depth and meaning. Now, the real magic begins to unfold as hundreds of bats pour out from roosting sites throughout the forest, creating an invisible network of acoustic awareness that covers every square inch of airspace, like a living radar system operated by the most skilled pilots in nature. Each species hunts differently. The little brown bats specialize in tiny flying insects, snatching mosquitoes and gnats from the air with precision that defies belief. While larger bats focus on beetles and moths, their echolocation calls adjusted to match their prey, like tuning a musical instrument for perfect pitch. The big brown bats use a different strategy, flying higher above the canopy, where larger insects cruise the open air. Their calls lower in frequency, traveling farther, giving them a wider view of their hunting grounds, like switching from a microscope to a telescope. Each tool perfect for its purpose. Watch as they weave between the trees, never colliding, despite sharing the same airspace with dozens of other hunters. Their navigation so perfect, their communication so sophisticated, that traffic jams are simply impossible in their aerial world of cooperative hunting and shared abundance. In the quiet moments between hunts, both flying squirrels and bats demonstrate the importance of community in the natural world. Flying squirrels often share nesting sites, especially during cold weather, huddling together for warmth and companionship. Their soft chittering, a language of comfort and connection. Bat colonies are even more socially complex. Mothers return to the exact spot where they left their babies, finding them among hundreds of other young by voice alone. Older females share information about good hunting spots through subtle acoustic cues that pass knowledge from generation to generation. There's something deeply comforting about these aerial communities. The way they support each other, share resources, communicate constantly, yet never interfere with individual freedom of movement. It's a perfect balance between independence and interdependence, between personal space and community care. As you continue to relax, feel yourself part of this aerial community, supported by invisible connections, guided by ancient wisdom, moving through your own life with the same grace, the same cooperation, the same trust in forces greater than yourself that carry you safely through each day. As the night reaches its deepest point, our flying friends continue their gentle activities. The flying squirrels gliding from tree to tree like feathered thoughts, moving between different levels of consciousness. The bats weaving through the darkness with sounds too beautiful for human ears, creating an invisible tapestry of connection and navigation. Feel yourself beginning to glide into your own peaceful journey towards sleep. Your breathing now synchronized with the gentle rhythm of wings moving through night air. Your heartbeat slowing to match the patient pulse of forest life, where time moves differently, where rest comes naturally, as darkness embraces all living things. Tomorrow we'll descend to the middle layers of our forest home, where raccoons, with their clever hands and curious minds, teach us about intelligence and adaptability, where deer mice show us how to move with quiet confidence through uncertain terrain. But tonight, let the gliders carry your dreams on their silent flights between the trees. If you're still drifting along with us, leave the word glide in the comments below and join this community of peaceful wanderers who find their deepest rest in the gentle embrace of nature's most soothing rhythms. Now, close your eyes and glide softly into the forest of your dreams, where everything moves with perfect grace and infinite peace. As your body settles deeper into complete relaxation, we begin our gentle descent from the aerial highways of the canopy down to the middle layers of our forest sanctuary. Here, where sturdy branches create natural platforms and tree hollows provide perfect family homes, lives one of the forest's most intelligent residents. The middle forest is a realm of family life where parents teach their young the ancient skills of woodland survival, where play and learning happen together in the safest, most nurturing environment nature can provide. Feel yourself becoming part of this family atmosphere where love and wisdom pass naturally from one generation to the next. Here, the trees themselves are mature and stable, their thick branches capable of supporting even the largest forest families. The bark, worn smooth by countless paws that have climbed these same paths for generations, creating highways of tradition and inherited knowledge that guide each new life into harmony with the forest's ancient rhythms. This is where we encounter some of nature's most remarkable problem solvers, creatures whose intelligence rivals that of young children, whose curiosity knows no bounds, and whose family bonds demonstrate the power of cooperation, patience, and gentle teaching in the art of successful living. From a spacious hollow in an old maple tree, a raccoon mother begins to stir, her dark mask making her look like a gentle bandit, while her ringed tail twitches with the anticipation of another productive night. She weighs nearly 20 pounds of pure intelligence and maternal devotion, wrapped in the softest gray-brown fur. Her front paws are perhaps the most remarkable tools in the forest, with fingers almost as dexterous as human hands, containing over 4 times the nerve endings found in most other mammals, making them incredibly sensitive to texture, temperature, shape, and weight, like having built-in laboratory equipment for analyzing every object she encounters. Behind her, 3 young kits begin to appear, each one a perfect miniature of their mother, but with the oversized paws that indicate they'll grow into equally capable manipulators of their environment. Their dark eyes shine with intelligence and curiosity as they prepare for another night of learning and exploration. Watch as the mother demonstrates the first lesson of raccoon life, using her incredibly sensitive front paws to examine a piece of bark, turning it over, feeling its texture, testing its weight, then passing it to each kit, who repeats the examination with the same methodical thoroughness, learning through touch and patience, the secrets hidden in ordinary objects. Now, follow this remarkable family as they descend their home tree using claws that can grip even the smoothest bark. Their movements deliberate and confident, each kit following exactly in mother's footsteps, learning the safest routes through their arboreal neighborhood, where every branch has been tested for reliability. At the base of the tree, Mother Raccoon begins the evening's first investigation, her sensitive paws exploring the forest floor, feeling for hidden treasures beneath fallen leaves. Her movements are methodical, scientific, like a researcher conducting important experiments in natural field conditions. Every texture tells a story. The kits watch intently as she demonstrates the proper technique for examining unknown objects. Roll it gently, feel its weight, test its flexibility, smell its surface. Only after this complete analysis does she decide whether the object is food, tool, or simply interesting debris to be cataloged and remembered for future reference. This investigation isn't rushed or frantic. It's a meditation on thoroughness, on patience, on the value of truly understanding your environment before making any decisions. There's something deeply calming about watching this methodical approach to discovery, where curiosity is balanced with wisdom and haste has no place. The raccoon family begins to move through the forest in single file, mother leading, each kit positioned to learn from her example. Their destination, a small stream that meanders between moss-covered rocks, where the real educational adventure of the evening will unfold in the gentle sound of flowing water. Raccoons are among the few mammals who actually wash their food before eating, though the behavior isn't really about cleanliness. It's about increasing the sensitivity of their already incredible front paws. Water softens the skin, making their fingers even more capable of detecting subtle differences in texture, consistency, and quality. Watch now as Mother wades into the shallow water, her paws moving gently through the stream bed, feeling for crayfish hiding under rocks, small frogs resting in the muddy bottom, or freshwater mussels buried in the soft sediment. Each discovery examined carefully before being either consumed or rejected based on precise tactile analysis. The kits follow her into the water, their first steps tentative but curious, learning that water enhances rather than hinders their ability to investigate their world. Soon, they're mimicking her movements, their tiny paws exploring every crevice, every possibility, under her watchful and encouraging supervision. Near the stream, an old discarded glass jar catches moonlight and raccoon attention. This becomes an impromptu lesson in problem solving. Mother Raccoon approaches with characteristic caution and curiosity, beginning her systematic investigation of this unusual object that doesn't belong in the natural world. She turns the jar over in her paws, testing its weight, its transparency, the way it reflects light, her intelligence working through the puzzle of what this object might contain, how it opens, whether it poses any danger to her family. This is raccoon science at its finest: methodical, thorough, and patient. One by one, each kit is allowed to examine the jar under careful maternal supervision. They learn that some objects require gentle handling, that glass can break, that unfamiliar things should be approached with respect and caution, but never with fear. Knowledge eliminates most dangers. Finally, Mother discovers how to remove the jar's lid, revealing nothing inside but the satisfaction of solving a complex puzzle. The kits chitter excitedly, having witnessed a masterful demonstration of intelligence applied to unknown challenges. This is education at its most natural and effective. As the family continues foraging along the stream bank, you can observe the deep bonds that connect this little community. The kits constantly touch their mother, seeking reassurance and guidance, while she responds with gentle chirps and encouraging nudges that say, "You're doing well. Keep learning. I'm here to keep you safe." Raccoons maintain these family bonds much longer than many wild animals. The young stay with mother through their first winter, learning not just how to find food, but how to make decisions, how to assess risk, how to communicate with other raccoons, and how to navigate the complex social dynamics of forest life. Their communication is remarkably sophisticated. Over 200 different vocalizations have been identified, from soft purrs of contentment to sharp barks of warning to gentle trills of affection. Each sound carrying specific meaning about food, danger, location, or emotional state, like having a complete spoken language for family life. Watch how they groom each other, the mother carefully cleaning each kit's fur, while they return the favor, creating bonds through touch that will last a lifetime. This mutual grooming isn't just about hygiene, it's about love, trust, and the continuous reinforcement of family connection and support. Perhaps most fascinating of all is the raccoon's relationship with human artifacts. They've become natural archaeologists, drawn to investigate any object that doesn't belong in their forest environment. Not out of mischief, but from pure scientific curiosity about how things work and what they might contain. An old camping spoon found beside the stream becomes an object of intense investigation. Mother Raccoon tests its flexibility, its weight, its potential as a tool for digging or reaching into narrow spaces. The kits take turns examining this human artifact, learning that the world contains many mysteries worth exploring. This curiosity extends to everything in their environment. They'll spend long minutes investigating a pine cone, testing its resistance to pressure, exploring the spaces between its scales, learning through touch what each object can teach them about the nature of their world. No detail is too small for their methodical attention. There's something deeply peaceful about this approach to life, where everything is interesting, where every discovery, no matter how small, deserves patient investigation, where curiosity is never rushed or superficial, but always thorough, thoughtful, and respectful of the object being examined. As dawn begins to hint at its eventual arrival, the raccoon family starts their leisurely return to the safety of their tree hollow, their bellies full, their minds enriched by another night of discovery and learning. Each kit having gained new knowledge about the art of living successfully in the wild. Back in their cozy hollow, the family settles down together. The kits curled around their mother like furry question marks, their soft breathing creating a rhythm of perfect contentment and security. This is the reward for curiosity, for patience, for careful learning, the peace that comes from knowing you belong exactly where you are. The raccoon family teaches us that intelligence without wisdom is incomplete, that the best learning happens within loving relationships, that curiosity balanced with caution leads to true understanding, and that the most important lessons are often the simplest ones, about cooperation, patience, and care for those we love. As you continue your own journey toward sleep, carry with you the raccoon's gentle thoroughness, their patient investigation of each new experience, their ability to find wonder in the ordinary, and their deep commitment to family and community. Let these wise teachings guide you into peaceful dreams, where everything you encounter is approached with the same loving curiosity and gentle understanding. Now, as your breathing becomes even more gentle and peaceful, we descend further still into the forest's most tranquil lair, the understory, where dappled moonlight filters through multiple canopies above, creating a soft, ethereal glow that transforms ordinary bushes and ferns into magical sleeping gardens. This is the realm of whispered movement, where the forest's most gentle creatures make their homes among fallen logs carpeted with velvet moss, where every step must be carefully placed to avoid disturbing the profound peace that settles here like morning mist. Feel yourself growing smaller, lighter, more attuned to the subtle vibrations of this quiet world, where big, dramatic gestures have no place, where survival depends on patience, careful observation, and the wisdom of knowing when to move and when to simply be still, like a meditation in motion. Here, among the sword ferns and wild ginger, the huckleberry bushes and delicate wildflowers, lives a community of creatures who have mastered the art of living without noise, without haste, without disturbing the gentle balance that makes this layer of the forest feel like a natural sanctuary for peaceful contemplation. In a cozy burrow beneath the roots of an old cedar stump, a white-footed mouse begins to stir from her daytime rest. Her large, dark eyes, like tiny black pearls, reflect what little light penetrates to this quiet level of the forest. Her ears constantly rotating like small satellite dishes, monitoring every sound in her peaceful territory. She weighs less than an ounce, yet her heart beats over 600 times per minute, a pace that would seem frantic in larger creatures. But for her, it's simply the rhythm of life lived in miniature, where every moment is precious and every movement must serve a purpose in her carefully organized existence. Her white belly unfeet gleams softly in the moonlight, while her brownish back blends perfectly with the forest floor, making her nearly invisible when she freezes in place. This natural camouflage allows her to move like a shadow through her woodland home, unseen by larger predators who patrol the night. Watch as she emerges from her burrow, her whiskers twitching constantly, reading the air currents for information about nearby food sources, potential dangers, weather changes, and the location of other small creatures who share this peaceful corner of the forest world. The white-footed mouse begins her nightly journey along well-established highways that exist only inches above the forest floor. Fallen logs serve as elevated sidewalks where her tiny claws can grip the bark securely while keeping her safe from ground-dwelling predators. Every few steps, she pauses to sniff a particular spot, reading chemical messages left by other mice who have passed this way. These scent markers tell stories about food sources, dangers, mating opportunities, and territorial boundaries, like a sophisticated communication network written in molecules. Her route takes her through a maze of fallen branches, around moss-covered rocks, under low-hanging fern fronds that brush her back like gentle fingers. Each landmark memorized precisely, creating a mental map so detailed that she could navigate this territory even in complete darkness. She moves with the economy of energy that comes from perfect knowledge of her environment. No wasted motion, no unnecessary detours, just pure efficiency combined with constant alertness. A meditation on being completely present in every moment of her midnight adventure. Deeper in the understory, among a grove of young maple trees, a North American porcupine moves with the deliberate patience of someone who has all the time in the world. His 30,000 quills rustle softly as he shuffles through the fallen leaves like a living pincushion with the wisdom of ages. Unlike most forest creatures, the porcupine doesn't need to hurry. His remarkable defense system allows him to move at his own preferred pace, which is unhurried, contemplative, and thoroughly peaceful. He embodies the principle that sometimes the best defense is simply being yourself completely and without apology. His poor eyesight matters little in this quiet realm, where smell and touch provide all the information he needs. His sensitive nose guides him to his favorite foods: young bark, tender shoots, salt-rich plants that provide the minerals his body craves. Each meal chosen with care and eaten with deliberate appreciation. Watch as he approaches a young birch tree, his strong claws finding easy purchase on the smooth bark. His climbing technique slow but incredibly secure, like someone who understands that getting there safely is more important than getting there quickly. A lesson in valuing process over speed. From beneath a pile of brush and fallen leaves emerges one of North America's most misunderstood residents, the Virginia opossum. Her grayish fur slightly disheveled from sleep, her pink nose twitching as she assesses the night's possibilities with the calm confidence of a creature whose ancestors survived the age of dinosaurs. She is the continent's only marsupial, a living connection to ancient evolutionary pathways that stretch back millions of years. Her pouch, though empty tonight, reminds us that there are many different ways to approach the challenge of raising young in this complex world, each method perfectly adapted to its particular circumstances. Her reputation for playing dead is actually an involuntary response to extreme stress, a neurological reaction that has saved countless opossums from predators who prefer living prey. But tonight, she feels no stress, only the gentle anticipation of another peaceful evening of foraging in her familiar territory. With 50 teeth, more than any other North American mammal, she's equipped to eat almost anything. This omnivorous flexibility has allowed her species to thrive in changing environments, a reminder that adaptation often means being open to new possibilities rather than clinging to old habits. Beneath your feet, as you imagine walking through this peaceful understory, An entire network of tunnels and burrows creates a hidden highway system used by voles, shrews, and other small mammals who prefer to travel in the safety of darkness, even beneath the darkness of night. The meadow voles have created runways through the grass and undergrowth, tiny paths, barely visible to human eyes, but serving as efficient transportation routes for creatures who measure distance in inches rather than miles. These paths connect feeding areas, nesting sites, and water sources in a network of incredible complexity. Shrews, the smallest mammals in North America, some weighing less than a dime, patrol these same territories with hearts that beat over 1,000 times per minute. Their metabolism so high that they must eat every few hours or risk starvation. Yet they move through their world with remarkable efficiency and purpose. Feel yourself becoming even smaller, more aware of the intricate details of this miniature landscape, where a fallen acorn becomes a significant obstacle, where a dewdrop provides crucial hydration, and where every shelter, every food source represents the difference between survival and extinction. Perhaps the most important skill in the understory is the ability to become completely still. When a great horned owl calls from above, every small creature freezes instantly, becoming part of the forest floor like stones or fallen leaves. This collective stillness creates moments of absolute peace and silence. The deer mouse pressed against the base of a fern becomes indistinguishable from the mottled shadows around her. The porcupine, tucked beneath a low branch, looks like a dark boulder covered with pine needles. The opossum, curled among dry leaves, disappears completely into the forest's natural carpet. This ability to simply vanish in plain sight isn't just about physical camouflage. It's about mental stillness as well. The capacity to quiet not just the body, but also the mind, to become so present, so perfectly integrated with the immediate environment that the boundary between self and surroundings simply dissolves. There's something profoundly peaceful about this level of presence, where survival depends not on action, but on the deepest possible form of meditation. Being so completely here, so fully aware, yet so perfectly still that you become one with the peace that surrounds you. As the night deepens around these gentle creatures, the understory settles into its most profound quiet. The mice continue their tiny explorations. The porcupine chews thoughtfully on tender bark. The opossum ambles peacefully between feeding sites, all moving in harmony with the forest's ancient rhythms. Feel your yourself beginning to merge with this peaceful stillness. You're breathing so slow, so gentle, that it matches the barely perceptible pulse of sap moving through sleeping trees. Your heartbeat synchronized with the quiet footsteps of these small night wanderers who know the secrets of moving without disturbing the peace. You are becoming part of this understory community where every movement is considered, every sound is meaningful, and every moment is approached with the reverence due to a sacred space where life continues its ancient dance in perfect harmony with the natural world. Tomorrow, we will explore the very ground itself, where even smaller creatures make their homes in the rich soil and fallen leaves. But tonight, let the wisdom of these gentle understory dwellers guide you into sleep, where you too can master the art of perfect stillness, complete presence, and the deep peace that comes from knowing exactly where you belong in the great web of life. Now we come to rest upon the forest floor itself, where centuries of fallen leaves have created a carpet soft as velvet, rich with the earthy scent of decomposition and renewal. Here, where your body feels most naturally supported, we encounter some of nature's most efficient hunters, creatures who have perfected the ancient art of finding sustenance among the roots and rotting logs. This level of the forest pulses with a different kind of energy. Not the frantic activity of daylight hunters, but the methodical, purposeful movement of creatures who understand that patience and precision yield better results than speed and force. Feel yourself settling into this rhythm, where every step serves a purpose, every pause reveals information, and every breath connects you more deeply to the earth beneath. The forest floor is alive with invisible highways, scent trails that tell stories of who has passed this way, when they traveled, what they carried, and where they were heading. To the trained senses of these ground-dwelling hunters, the leaf litter becomes a library of information, rich with knowledge about the comings and goings of every creature in their territory. Here among the fallen giants, massive logs that once reached toward the sky, but now serve as nurseries for new life, we discover that endings and beginnings are often the same moment, viewed from different perspectives. The hunters of this realm understand this truth intimately. They are both part of the cycle and guardians of its continuation. Beneath a loose pile of maple leaves, the smallest hunter in the forest begins her evening patrol. The masked shrew, weighing less than a nickel, possesses one of the fastest metabolisms on Earth. Her heart beats over 1,200 times per minute, a pace that would seem impossible if we didn't witness her incredible efficiency in motion. She must consume her own body weight in food every day just to survive. This might sound frantic, but watch how she moves through her territory with the precision of a master craftsman. Every tunnel she creates, every leaf she investigates, every insect she captures is part of an elegant system of survival that has remained unchanged for millions of years. Her tiny eyes see very little, but her other senses compensate magnificently. Her pointed snout contains some of the most sensitive touch receptors in the mammal kingdom, allowing her to identify prey by texture, size, and even chemical composition. Her hearing is so acute that she can locate the movement of an insect larva beneath several layers of leaves. Most remarkable of all, some shrew species possess a mild venom in their saliva. Not enough to harm larger creatures, but perfectly suited to subdue their tiny prey. This makes them among the few venomous mammals on Earth. A reminder that evolution finds the most elegant solutions to every survival challenge, often in the smallest packages. Through the maze of fallen branches moves a creature of liquid grace. The long-tailed weasel, her body perfectly designed for pursuing prey through the tightest spaces where larger predators cannot follow. Her slender form, weighing only 8 ounces, can slip through any opening larger than a quarter, yet she's capable of taking down prey several times her own size. Her hunting style is poetry in motion. Unlike the patient waiting of larger predators, she employs constant movement, flowing like water through root systems and brush piles. Her spine is so flexible that she can literally turn around inside a tunnel barely wider than her body. This remarkable agility allows her to pursue mice and voles into their most secure hiding places. In winter, her northern cousin the ermine transforms into something magical, her brown summer coat gradually changing to pure white, except for the black tip of her tail. This seasonal wardrobe change isn't just about camouflage. It's about understanding that adaptation means being willing to completely transform yourself when circumstances require it. Watch her pause at the entrance to a vole tunnel, her head tilted slightly, listening with the concentration of a meditation master. She's reading the acoustic landscape of the underground world, determining not just if prey is present, but exactly where it's located, which direction it's moving, and whether it's aware of her presence. Emerging from a den system that extends deep beneath the roots of an ancient oak, a red fox begins her nightly survey of her territory. Her russet coat gleams like burnished copper in the moonlight, while her black-tipped ears rotate constantly, monitoring the acoustic environment with the precision of a sound engineer. She weighs only 12 pounds, yet her presence commands respect from much larger animals. Not through aggression, but through a kind of quiet confidence that comes from perfect knowledge of her domain. Every fallen log, every clearing, every water source within her 2-square-mile territory has been mapped in exquisite detail within her remarkable mind. Her hunting technique combines the patience of a cat with the persistence of a dog. She'll spend long minutes standing motionless, head cocked at a precise angle, listening to the underground activities of rodents moving through their tunnel systems. When she finally pounces, it's with the accuracy of a guided missile. Her front paws pinning prey she cannot even see beneath the snow or leaves. The fox's intelligence extends far beyond hunting. She maintains multiple den sites throughout her territory, cached food supplies for lean times, and an intricate understanding of seasonal patterns that allows her to anticipate where prey will be most abundant weeks in advance. This is strategic thinking that rivals any human planning system. All these ground-level hunters share a common mastery: the ability to move through the forest floor without creating sound. Watch as the fox places each paw with deliberate care, testing the surface for stability before committing her full weight, choosing her route to avoid dry leaves and brittle twigs that might betray her presence. The weasel's approach is different, but equally elegant. She uses the natural sound dampening provided by moss and soft earth, timing her movements to coincide with natural forest sounds like wind through branches or the distant call of an owl. Her hunting becomes a dance with the forest's own rhythms. Even the tiny shrew, despite her urgent need for constant feeding, moves with surprising stealth. Her lightweight body leaves barely any impression on the forest floor, and her high-frequency vocalizations are pitched above the hearing range of most potential predators. She hunts in a world of sound invisible to larger ears. This mastery of stealth isn't just about avoiding detection. It's about becoming so attuned to the forest's natural frequencies that you begin to move as part of the forest itself. Your footsteps become like raindrops, your breathing like wind through leaves. You don't sneak through the forest. You become the forest moving through itself. The forest floor holds thousands of stories written in languages most humans never learn to read. But these skilled hunters are fluent in every one. Scent trails invisible to our noses create highways of information about who passed this way, when they traveled, their emotional state, their health, even their intentions. A fox can determine from a single sniff whether another fox is male or female, young or old, well-fed or hungry, stressed or relaxed. The leaves and soil become pages in a constantly updating newspaper, full of vital information about the comings and goings of every creature in the territory. The weasel reads different chapters of this same story, her sensitive nose detecting the chemical signatures of prey animals, determining which tunnels are actively used, which contain food caches, and which might harbor sick or injured animals that would make easier targets. Even weather patterns leave their messages in this natural library. The way moisture settles in certain areas, how wind carries different scents through the forest, which routes become impassable after rain. These hunters read the environment like scholars studying ancient texts, every detail meaningful, every change significant. There's a profound wisdom in the hunting philosophy of these ground-dwelling predators. Unlike the dramatic chase scenes we might imagine, their approach is based on understanding that the forest provides everything needed for survival, but only to those who approach it with respect, patience, and deep attention. The fox doesn't rush frantically through her territory hoping to stumble across prey. Instead, she positions herself at the intersection of multiple prey trails, then waits with the stillness of a meditation master until the perfect moment presents itself. Her hunting is less about pursuit and more about positioning and timing. The weasel's constant movement might seem frantic, but it's actually a sophisticated search pattern designed to cover every potential hiding spot in her territory. Her apparent hyperactivity is really a methodical investigation that misses nothing. She hunts like a detective following clues rather than a warrior charging into battle. This approach teaches us that effectiveness often comes not from intensity of effort, but from quality of attention. Not from forcing outcomes, but from positioning ourselves where opportunities naturally arise. The forest floor hunters embody a kind of active patience, always ready, never rushed. As dawn begins to hint at its distant arrival, our red fox concludes her nightly patrol. Her belly satisfied, her territory secure, her young safe in their den. She moves now with the unhurried confidence of someone whose work is complete. Each paw step deliberate, but no longer urgent. Each pause a moment of satisfaction rather than vigilance. Follow her now as she makes her way back to the den. Notice how even her return journey serves multiple purposes. She checks previously cached food supplies, updates her mental map with any changes in the territory, and leaves fresh scent markers to remind other foxes that this area is under her protection. Her final act before settling into rest is to circle 3 times at the den entrance, a behavior that serves both practical and ritualistic purposes, checking for any changes while also transitioning from the alertness required for hunting to the deeper relaxation needed for healing sleep. Feel yourself adopting this same ritual as you prepare for your own rest, circling mentally through your day, checking that all necessary tasks are complete, all loved ones are safe, all responsibilities fulfilled. Then, like the fox curling into her cozy den, allow yourself to settle into the deep security that comes from knowing you've done everything needed. And now, it's time to rest. Let the wisdom of these forest floor hunters guide you into sleep. Their patience, their attention to detail, their ability to move through challenges with grace and efficiency. Tomorrow, we'll explore how the forest's larger predators maintain the delicate balance that keeps this ecosystem healthy. But tonight, rest like a fox in her den, surrounded by the protective darkness of the forest floor, where every sound is familiar and every scent carries the comfort of home. As we settle even deeper into the profound stillness of the forest night, we prepare to encounter the most majestic inhabitants of these ancient woodlands. Here, where massive tree trunks create cathedral spaces and moonlight filters through in silver columns, live the great guardians of the forest, creatures whose very presence speaks of timeless wisdom and the delicate balance that keeps entire ecosystems in harmony. Feel your breathing slow to match the measured pace of these magnificent beings who move through their world not with urgency, but with the deliberate grace of those who understand that true power lies not in speed, but in presence. Your heartbeat begins to synchronize with the deeper rhythms of the forest, where time moves like honey, sweet and unhurried. These are the apex predators, yet they embody a different kind of strength. Not the aggressive dominance we might imagine, but the quiet confidence of creatures who know their place in the greater web of life. They are teachers, showing us that leadership often means knowing when not to act, when to observe, when to allow the natural order to unfold. In their company, we learn that being powerful doesn't require being loud, that commanding respect comes from wisdom earned through countless seasons of survival, and that the greatest hunters are often the most patient, the most observant, the most deeply connected to the rhythms of their world. From behind a massive pine trunk steps a creature that seems half domestic cat, half wild spirit. The Canada lynx, with her oversized snowshoe paws and distinctive black-tipped ears, moves through the forest like a living poem, written in grace and silence. Her thick fur, silver gray with subtle spots, ripples like water as she flows between the trees. She weighs only 30 pounds, yet her presence fills the entire clearing with a kind of quiet majesty that stops your breath. Her enormous paws, merely twice the size of those of her southern cousin, the bobcat, allow her to walk on snow as easily as on solid ground, making her the perfect predator for these northern woodlands where winter reigns for half the year. Watch her amber eyes as they scan the forest with the patience of meditation. She can remain motionless for hours at a time, simply observing, simply being present in her territory. This isn't the restless alertness of a nervous creature, but the deep awareness of one who knows that everything she needs will reveal itself in its proper time. Her hunting technique is based almost entirely on stealth and surprise. She stalks her primary prey, the snowshoe hare, with movements so fluid, so perfectly controlled, that she seems to glide rather than walk. Each paw step is placed with surgical precision, never disturbing a single twig or rustling a single leaf. Follow her now as she begins to track the scent trail of a snowshoe hare. Her pink nose, twitching delicately, reading the invisible story written in chemical signals on the forest air. She moves like someone walking a labyrinth, each step deliberate, each turn meaningful, each pause a moment of perfect presence. The lynx embodies a hunting philosophy based on patience rather than pursuit. She doesn't chase her prey across long distances. Instead, she positions herself along known travel routes and waits with the stillness of a Zen master for the perfect moment to present itself. This approach conserves energy and increases success far more effectively than frantic activity. Her oversized ears can detect the sound of a mouse moving under 2 feet of snow. Her vision, adapted for dawn and dusk, can spot movement at distances that would challenge the best human eyesight. But perhaps most remarkably, she seems to possess an almost supernatural sense of timing, knowing exactly when to emerge from concealment. As she settles into her hunting crouch behind a fallen log, her entire body becomes part of the forest, her breathing so controlled that not even the most sensitive prey can detect her presence. She has transformed from predator into patience itself, a living demonstration of the power of complete stillness. Deeper in the forest, where the trees grow larger and older and shadows pool like dark water between massive trunks, we encounter perhaps the most misunderstood of all forest dwellers, a small pack of wolves led by an alpha pair who have shared this territory for 7 years, raising pups, teaching hunting skills, and maintaining the delicate balance that keeps their ecosystem healthy and whole. The alpha female, gray as morning mist, with eyes the color of autumn leaves, moves with a confidence born of deep knowledge. She knows every deer trail, every stream crossing, every denning site within her pack's vast territory. But more than that, she understands the complex relationships between predator and prey that maintain the forest's natural harmony. Watch how the pack moves together, not in the frenzied rush of Hollywood wolves, but with the coordinated purpose of a family working together. Each member has a specific role based on age, experience, and individual temperament. The hunt they're planning will be as much about strengthening pack bonds as about securing food. Their communication is subtle and complex. A raised ear, a slight shift in posture, a barely audible whine. Each gesture carries specific meaning about intention, status, emotional state, and tactical planning. They speak in the ancient language of body and breath, understanding each other with perfect clarity, without need for human words. In a clearing where wild blueberries carpet the forest floor, a female black bear and her 2 cubs demonstrate the more peaceful side of forest predation. She weighs 300 pounds of gentle power, yet moves with surprising grace through the berry bushes. her massive paws capable of crushing, yet delicate enough to pick individual berries without damaging the surrounding fruit. Black bears are among nature's most successful omnivores, their diet changing with the seasons, from spring grasses and emerging shoots to summer berries and autumn nuts. Only about 15% of their diet consists of meat, making them more gardener than predator, more cultivator than killer. Watch her cubs as they learn, by imitation, how to select the ripest berries, how to test a fallen log for insect larvae, how to recognize the signs of approaching danger. Their education happens through play and exploration, under the watchful but patient supervision of their mother, who understands that learning cannot be rushed. Her power is obvious in every movement, yet she uses it with remarkable restraint. When one cub ventures too far, a soft grunt is enough to bring him back. When they encounter another bear's territory, she leads them quietly away, avoiding conflict through wisdom rather than strength. These great predators are often misunderstood as agents of destruction, but observation reveals a different truth. They are the forest's gardeners, pruning weak individuals from prey populations, allowing the strongest to survive and reproduce. Their presence creates what scientists call a landscape of fear that keeps herbivores moving and alert, preventing overgrazing of any single area. The lynx maintains snowshoe hare populations at sustainable levels, while the hare's constant vigilance keeps them from devastating young tree growth. The wolves select primarily old, sick, or injured deer, strengthening the herd, while their hunting patterns create pathways that become natural corridors for other wildlife. Even the bears, playing their gentler role, help distribute seeds across vast distances, their fur carrying plant material from meadow to meadow, their waste fertilizing remote areas where new growth can take hold. They are unwitting farmers sowing diversity across the landscape. This delicate balance has evolved over thousands of years, each species perfectly fitted to its role in the greater symphony of forest life. Remove any of these key players, and the entire system begins to falter, proving that even the most feared predators are essential threads in the web of natural harmony. As we observe these magnificent creatures in their natural rhythms, we begin to understand a different way of moving through life. The lynx teaches us about the power of waiting without anxiety, of being completely present in each moment until the right opportunity naturally appears. The wolves demonstrate the strength that comes from deep cooperation, from understanding that individual success is meaningless without the well-being of the pack. Their hunting is never just about hunger, but always about maintaining the relationships that make survival possible for all. The bears show us how true power can be gentle, how strength can be patient, how the mightiest can move with care and consideration for those around them. Their approach to life is unhurried, thorough, and deeply respectful of natural limits. Each of these great forest guardians embodies a different aspect of wisdom that we can apply to our own lives. The ability to wait without restlessness, to cooperate without losing individual identity, to be powerful without being destructive. These are lessons written in fur and muscle and the patient observation of countless generations. As the deepest part of the night embraces the forest, our great guardians begin to settle into their own forms of rest. The lynx finds a comfortable depression in the moss beside a fallen log, her body curled into a perfect circle of spotted fur, her breathing slow and even as she transitions from alertness to peaceful sleep. The wolfpack gathers in their chosen resting spot, a small clearing protected by ancient pines. They sleep in a loose circle, each member positioned to guard a different approach. Even in rest, their devotion to pack safety never wavers, yet their sleep is deep and restorative. The bear family returns to their daybed, a depression they've excavated beneath the low branches of a massive hemlock tree. The cubs nestle against their mother's warm bulk, her steady breathing creating a rhythm that rocks them gently into dreams. Feel yourself now surrounded by this circle of protection, these great guardians of the forest standing watch, while you allow yourself to sink even deeper into relaxation. Their presence promises safety, their wisdom offers guidance, their patient strength provides the foundation for complete and restful sleep. Tomorrow, we will explore the most tender aspects of forest life, the family bonds that connect bold creatures in webs of love and protection. But tonight, rest in the knowledge that you are held safely within the circle of the forest's greatest guardians, who watch over all who dwell in their ancient and peaceful domain. As your body settles even deeper into relaxation, we turn our attention to the most heartwarming aspect of forest life. Here, where survival often seems harsh and unforgiving, we discover some of nature's most touching displays of love, protection, and patient teaching. The same forest that produces skilled predators also nurtures the most devoted mothers in the animal kingdom. Feel your breathing slow as we observe these tender moments, where fierce hunters transform into gentle caregivers, where the strongest creatures in the forest show their softest sides. These scenes remind us that love is not a human invention, but a force that flows through all of nature, connecting parent to offspring in bonds stronger than any we might imagine. In hidden clearings and secret dens, protected by the forest's natural fortresses, mothers of every species dedicate themselves completely to the well-being of their young. Their devotion is absolute, their patience endless, their willingness to sacrifice beyond measure. Here we see that the heart of the wilderness beats with the same rhythm as any loving home. The forest mothers teach us that true strength often looks like gentleness, that real power manifests as protection rather than aggression. In their company, we remember that the fiercest love is often the quietest, expressed not in grand gestures, but in countless small acts of care, repeated day after day with unwavering dedication. In a sun-dappled meadow, surrounded by protective walls of dense forest, a white-tailed doe grazes peacefully while her twin fawns rest in the tall grass nearby. Their spotted coats blend so perfectly with the play of light and shadow that even knowing they're there, your eyes must search carefully to find them. The fawns are only 3 weeks old, still in that magical stage when instinct tells them that perfect stillness equals perfect safety. When danger threatens, they drop to the ground and freeze, becoming nearly invisible among the wildflowers and ferns. Their mother has taught them that sometimes the best action is no action at all. Watch how the doe positions herself, always between her babies and any potential threat. Her large ears constantly rotating like radar dishes, monitoring every sound in their sanctuary. She feeds quickly and efficiently, never allowing herself to become so absorbed in eating that she loses awareness of her surroundings. When one fawn grows restless and begins to move, she approaches with gentle authority, nudging him back to safety with her soft muzzle. Her correction is firm but loving, the kind of guidance that creates security rather than fear. In her movements, we see the perfect balance between protection and trust that characterizes the best parenting in any species. Near a berry-rich hillside, a black bear mother demonstrates patience that would humble any human teacher as her 2 cubs practice the essential skill of foraging. The first cub, eager and impulsive, rushes toward every patch of berries, while the second, more cautious by nature, watches carefully before making any move. Their mother accommodates both learning styles, gently restraining the impulsive one when necessary, while encouraging the cautious one to take appropriate risks. She understands that each cub will develop at his own pace, and that her job is to guide, not to force their natural personalities into rigid patterns. When the brave cub encounters a bee defending its flowers and receives a sharp reminder about respecting other creatures, Mother Bear is there immediately with comfort, not to rescue him from every consequence, but to provide the emotional support that allows him to learn from experience, rather than being traumatized by it. She demonstrates each skill slowly and clearly, how to test a log for grubs, how to distinguish ripe berries from unripe ones, how to climb safely and efficiently. Her teaching method is based on repetition and patience, showing the same technique over and over until it becomes as natural as breathing for her students. In the Wolves' Den site, protected by fallen logs and thick undergrowth, the entire pack participates in raising the alpha pair's 5 pups. This is communal parenting at its finest, where aunts and uncles take their responsibilities as seriously as the biological parents themselves. Each adult wolf has developed a special relationship with one or more pups based on personality compatibility and natural affinity. The pack's beta female, patient and gentle, specializes in teaching hunting basics through play. The omega male, playful and energetic, serves as the perfect companion for the most adventurous pups. Watch as the adults take turns standing guard while others hunt, ensuring that the pups are never left unprotected. When the hunting party returns, they regurgitate partially digested food for the young ones who aren't yet ready to join the pack's expeditions. This might seem unpleasant to human sensibilities, but it's one of nature's most efficient ways of providing perfectly prepared nutrition for growing bodies. The pups learn through observation and imitation, watching the adults' complex social interactions and gradually understanding their place in the pack hierarchy. But this isn't rigid authoritarianism. It's a flexible system that allows each individual to contribute their unique strengths while maintaining group cohesion and safety. As evening settles over the forest, the raccoon mother emerges with her 3 kits for another session of what might be called nature's most comprehensive education program. Every night brings new lessons in problem solving, investigation techniques, and the subtle art of reading environmental clues. Tonight's curriculum focuses on water safety as Mother leads her students to a shallow creek where they'll learn advanced foraging techniques. She demonstrates how to feel for crayfish without being pinched by their defensive claws, how to distinguish between rocks and potential food, and how to maintain balance on slippery surfaces. Each kit approaches the lesson differently. One is naturally cautious, testing each step carefully before committing. Another is boldly curious, eager to investigate every possibility. The third seems more interested in the social aspects of the activity, staying close to Mother for reassurance. She adapts her teaching to each individual's learning style, providing extra encouragement where needed, and gentle restraint when enthusiasm outpaces common sense. The beauty of raccoon education lies in its hands-on approach. There are no lectures, no abstract concepts, only direct experience guided by patient demonstration. The kids learn by doing, making mistakes in a safe environment where Mother's watchful presence ensures that errors become learning opportunities rather than dangerous situations. High in the oak canopy, a gray squirrel mother works tirelessly to prepare her young for the approaching winter. Her 3 juveniles, now large enough to follow her through the treetop highways, are receiving intensive training in the ancient art of preparation and planning. She shows them how to select the best acorns, testing each one for quality before deciding whether to eat it immediately or cache it for later. The young squirrels initially want to eat everything they find, but gradually learn the wisdom of delayed gratification and long-term thinking. Watch as she demonstrates the precise technique for burying an acorn at just the right depth, in just the right type of soil, where it will remain fresh and accessible even under a blanket of snow. She creates dozens of these caches, each one memorized with remarkable spatial accuracy. The juveniles practice these skills under her watchful supervision, making their own small caches while she observes and corrects their technique. This preparation isn't just about food storage. It's about developing the mental discipline and forward thinking that will serve them throughout their lives. Across all these different families, despite the variety of their lifestyles and challenges, certain patterns emerge that speak to universal truths about love and care. Whether we're watching a dear mother's gentle guidance, a bear's patient teaching, or a wolf's pack's cooperative support, the same basic principles apply. Protection comes first, always. Every forest mother positions herself between her young and potential danger, ready to sacrifice herself, if necessary, to ensure their survival. This isn't calculated behavior. It's an instinctive response that flows from love deeper than thought. Teaching follows close behind, but never forced education, always adapted to each individual's readiness and capability. Forest mothers understand what human educators sometimes forget, that learning happens best when the student feels safe, supported, and respected for their unique pace of development. Play serves as both education and bonding time. Young animals learn essential survival skills through games that feel like fun rather than work. In their playful interactions, we see joy, pure and uncomplicated, reminding us that happiness is not a luxury, but a necessary component of healthy development. As the night reaches its most peaceful depth and your own breathing matches the gentle rhythm of sleeping forest families, feel yourself surrounded by this universal circle of love. The protective devotion of countless mothers, the patient teaching of wise parents, the playful bonds between siblings, all create an atmosphere of safety and care that extends to embrace even visiting observers like yourself. Let the warmth of these family connections settle into your own heart, reminding you of the love that surrounds you in your own life. Feel the protective presence of those who care for you, the gentle guidance of those who have taught you, the joyful bonds of those who share your journey. Allow yourself to rest in this knowledge of connection, this certainty that love is the force that holds not just forest families together, but the entire web of life. Your breathing grows slower, more peaceful, as you become part of this great network of care and protection. Tomorrow, we will explore the deepest mysteries of forest rest, how creatures prepare for winter sleep and find renewal in nature's cycles. But tonight, sleep comes easily, wrapped in the gentle embrace of forest families who demonstrate that love is indeed the strongest force in the natural world and the foundation upon which all life safely rests. As autumn slowly surrenders to winter's embrace, the forest begins its ancient ritual of preparation for the deepest sleep in the natural world. Feel your own body growing heavier, more relaxed, as we explore how nature's wisest creatures transform the challenge of winter into an opportunity for the most profound rest, deeper than any human sleep, more restorative than any vacation. The air carries hints of the coming transformation, a crisp clarity that speaks of shortened days and longer nights ahead. This isn't a time of endings, but of sacred preparation, when the forest's inhabitants demonstrate the ancient wisdom of working with natural cycles rather than fighting against them. Throughout the woodland, creatures are making their final preparations for a sleep so deep, so complete, that their heartbeats will slow to barely perceptible rhythms. Their breathing will become whisper soft. Their body temperature will drop to match the cool earth around them. This is nature's masterclass in the art of complete surrender to the restorative power of rest. Feel yourself beginning to learn from these master sleepers how to prepare your own body and mind for the kind of deep rest that heals not just fatigue, but renews the very essence of what it means to be alive. In their company, we discover that sleep is not an absence, but a presence of the deepest kind. Deep beneath the roots of an ancient hemlock, a female black bear has spent weeks preparing the most comfortable bedroom in the entire forest. Her den, excavated with infinite care, extends back into the hillside, far enough to maintain constant temperature, yet close enough to the surface to ensure adequate airflow. She has lined her sleeping chamber with layers of soft materials, dried grasses, moss gathered from fallen logs, even her own shed fur, collected throughout the summer and saved for this moment. The result is a mattress more comfortable than anything human ingenuity has created, perfectly fitted to her body, and designed for months of uninterrupted rest. Her preparation has been methodical, increasing her body weight by nearly 50% during the autumn months. This extra fat will serve as both insulation and fuel, allowing her to sleep without eating for up to 7 months. Her body will slow its metabolic processes to a whisper of normal activity, demonstrating the ultimate energy conservation. Watch as she performs her final inspection of the den's interior, testing the softness of her bedding, checking for adequate drainage, ensuring that her sleeping position will be perfectly comfortable for the long rest ahead. Her movements are unhurried, reverent almost, like someone preparing a sacred space for the most important sleep of her life. In contrast to the bear's simple approach to winter survival, the eastern chipmunk has created an underground palace of preparation and abundance. His burrow system extends through 20 feet of tunnels and chambers, each room designed for a specific purpose in his winter survival strategy. His main storage chamber contains enough seeds and nuts to feed him throughout the coldest months. Unlike true hibernators, chipmunks enter a state called torpor, sleeping deeply for days, then waking briefly to eat from their carefully maintained food supplies before returning to their cozy slumber. The organization of his storage system would impress any efficiency expert. Acorns sorted by size, seeds arranged by type, each cache strategically placed for easy access during his brief waking periods. He has even created separate chambers for different types of food, ensuring that nothing spoils and everything remains fresh and nutritious. His sleeping chamber, located at the deepest point of his burrow system, maintains the perfect temperature through natural earth insulation. Here, curled into a tight ball, he will spend most of winter in a sleep so deep that his breathing becomes almost undetectable, his heart rate dropping to just a few beats per minute. Above ground, the gray squirrels have chosen a different approach to winter survival. Rather than sleeping through the cold months, they remain active, relying on their remarkable spatial memory and hundreds of food caches hidden throughout their territory. Each squirrel has buried thousands of acorns and nuts in individual hiding spots, marked by scent and memorized with astonishing precision. Scientists have discovered that squirrels can remember the location of their caches with 90% accuracy, even after months of snow cover. Their winter nests, called drays, are marvels of insulation. Built in the forks of sturdy branches, these spherical structures, made from twigs, leaves, and moss, can maintain interior temperatures 20 degrees warmer than the outside air, even during the coldest blizzards. On the most bitter days, multiple squirrels will share a single dray, huddling together for warmth and companionship. This social behavior demonstrates that even typically solitary creatures understand the value of community during challenging times. Their soft chittering creates a gentle soundtrack to winter's otherwise silent days. Not all forest creatures choose the path of winter sleep. Some birds, like the wood thrush and scarlet tanager, have developed the remarkable ability to navigate thousands of miles to warmer climates where food remains abundant throughout the winter months. Their migration is a different kind of rest response, trading the energy required for cold adaptation for the energy required for long-distance travel. Both strategies represent successful solutions to the same challenge: how to survive when the environment becomes temporarily inhospitable. Those creatures that remain have developed extraordinary adaptations. The wood frog actually freezes solid throughout winter, its blood containing natural antifreeze compounds that prevent cell damage. Come spring, it simply thaws out and resumes its normal activities, as if nothing extraordinary had happened. Some mammals, like the snowshoe hare, change their entire appearance, growing thick white fur that provides both insulation and camouflage against the snow. Their large hind feet act like natural snowshoes, allowing them to move efficiently across deep drifts while their predators struggle in the snow. As the last leaves flutter to the ground, the entire forest begins its transformation into a sleeping giant. Tree sap slows its circulation, withdrawing deep into the roots, where it will remain safe from freezing until spring's warmth calls it back to branches and leaves. The understory plants have already sent their energy downward into root systems and underground rhizomes, where next year's growth waits patiently in dormant potential. Even the soil itself seems to settle into deeper stillness as microscopic life slows its activity to a barely perceptible whisper. Streams that ran quickly all summer now move with lazy contentment, their surfaces beginning to show the first thin films of ice that will soon create a crystal ceiling over the water's gentle dreams. Fish retreat to deeper pools where the temperature remains stable and their metabolism can slow to winter's pace. The very air seems to thicken with the approaching sleep of the forest. Sounds travel differently now, muffled by the increasing thickness of accumulated snow, creating a natural sound dampening that turns the forest into a vast, silent chamber, perfect for the deepest possible rest. On the coldest mornings, before the snow covers everything in its white quietude, mist rises from the warming earth, creating a natural blanket that seems to tuck the forest into its bed. This ethereal covering moves like slow breathing across the landscape, soft and protective. Dewdrops form perfect spheres on every surface, like tiny crystal meditation bells, each one reflecting the pale sunlight in miniature rainbows. These drops will soon become frost, then snow, each transformation more beautiful than the last, nature's way of decorating its sleeping chamber. The bare branches of deciduous trees create intricate lace patterns against the sky, their structure now visible in ways hidden by summer's full foliage. This skeletal beauty reveals the essential architecture of growth, stripped down to its most basic elements, pure and simple. Animals that remain active move through this misty world like spirits, appearing and disappearing in the shifting clouds of vapor. A deer steps delicately through the fog, visible one moment, gone the next, as if the forest were showing us its dreams, made visible in the morning air. Feel yourself now becoming part of this great settling into winter's perfect stillness. Your breathing matches the slow rhythm of hibernating creatures. Your heartbeat slows to synchronize with the barely perceptible pulse of sap moving through sleeping trees. The forest has become a vast meditation hall where every creature practices the ancient art of complete surrender to natural rhythms. Here, sleep is not escape from life, but immersion into life's deepest currents, where healing happens at the cellular level and dreams become pathways to renewal. Allow the wisdom of these master sleepers to guide you into your own deep rest. Like the bear in her perfect den, let yourself settle completely into the comfort of your own sleeping space. Like the chipmunk, trust that everything you need has been prepared and is waiting for you. Tomorrow we will explore the quietest moments of all, when the forest rests so deeply that even silence has texture and peace becomes a living presence. But tonight, join the great sleep of the forest, where every breath is a prayer, every heartbeat a gentle drum, keeping time for dreams deeper than any you've ever known before. In this sacred space, where rest itself becomes a form of perfect prayer. We have reached the deepest part of our forest journey, the sacred hour when night begins its gentle transition toward dawn. Here, in this liminal space between sleep and waking, the forest reveals its most profound secrets about rest, renewal, and the healing power of absolute stillness. Your breathing has become so slow, so peaceful, that you barely disturb the air around you. This is the hour when even the most restless creatures find their deepest peace. The time when healing happens at the cellular level, when dreams reach their most restorative depths, and when the boundary between consciousness and sleep becomes as soft and permeable as morning mist drifting between ancient trees. Feel yourself settling into this sacred rhythm, where time moves like honey, sweet and unhurried. Your heartbeat has synchronized with the barely perceptible pulse of the sleeping forest. Each beat a gentle affirmation that you are exactly where you belong, in this moment of perfect tranquility. The forest, at this hour, becomes a natural meditation hall, where every breath is a prayer, every heartbeat a gentle drum, keeping time for the most peaceful dreams. Here we learn that the deepest rest comes not from effort, but from complete surrender to the natural rhythms that have guided life for millions of years. Between the towering trees, wisps of mist begin to rise from the warming earth, creating veils of silver and pearl that move through the forest like visible dreams. This ethereal fog, born from the marriage of earth and sky, wraps around tree trunks and drifts through clearings with the grace of a slow dance performed by spirits of pure serenity. Each drop of moisture in this mist carries the essence of the forest, the breath of sleeping trees, the dreams of hibernating creatures, the wisdom of ancient soil. As you breathe, you draw this sacred vapor into your lungs, feeling it spread peace through every cell of your body like a gentle elixir of calm. The mist transforms the familiar forest into something magical and otherworldly. Tree trunks appear and disappear, like thoughts arising and fading in the peaceful mind of meditation. Branches emerge from the fog, like gentle reminders that even in the deepest rest, life continues its patient work of growth and renewal. Watch how the mist moves with no urgency, no destination in mind, simply flowing where the subtle currents of air and temperature guide its passage. This is the perfect model for how to move through life, allowing natural forces to carry you gently toward whatever awaits, without struggle or resistance. On every surface, countless dewdrops have formed during the night, each one a perfect sphere of crystal clarity, reflecting the faintest light in miniature rainbows. These tiny water jewels rest on pine needles, grass blades, and spider webs, like meditation bells made of liquid light, too delicate to ring, yet somehow filling the forest with their silent song. Each dewdrop contains the essence of the night's peace, condensed into perfect form. They hang motionless in the still air, neither falling nor evaporating, suspended in that magical moment between states of being, just as you rest now between waking and sleeping, in the perfect balance of deep relaxation. The spiderwebs, outlined in dew, become visible artworks strung between branches like nature's own mandala, intricate patterns that speak of patience, persistence, and the beauty that emerges when we work slowly and with great care, creating something beautiful, one strand at a time. As the first hint of dawn touches these water pearls, they begin to glow with inner light, transforming the forest floor into a carpet of tiny stars, each one a reminder that beauty often exists in the smallest details, the quietest moments, the most overlooked places where peace gathers, like dew in the stillness. Around you, the great trees stand, like ancient pillars supporting a cathedral older than any human structure. Their massive trunks rise into the mist, disappearing into soft gray infinity, while their roots spread deep beneath the earth, creating a foundation of unshakable stability that has weathered countless storms and countless seasons. These sleeping giants breathe so slowly that their respiration is measured in hours rather than seconds. Their sap flows like meditation, unhurried and purposeful, carrying nutrients and messages through networks more complex than any human city, yet operating in perfect silence, with no need for management or control. In winter's approach, these trees have withdrawn their life force deep into their cores, conserving energy for the long months ahead. Their bare branches create intricate lacework against the pale sky, each twig positioned with mathematical precision according to laws of growth and balance that were ancient before humans ever walked the earth. Feel yourself drawing strength from their patient presence, their deep-rootedness, their ability to bend without breaking, to sleep deeply when rest is needed, and to wake refreshed when spring calls them back to active growth. In their company, you learn that true strength comes from flexibility and true peace from deep roots. In this pre-dawn hour, the forest's silence has texture and weight. It's not the absence of sound, but the presence of perfect peace. This silence speaks in a language older than words, telling stories of patience, endurance, and the quiet miracles that happen when life is allowed to unfold at its natural pace. Listen to the quality of this stillness, how it differs from the empty quiet of abandoned places. This is living silence, filled with the peaceful breathing of countless sleeping creatures, the gentle circulation of sap in sleeping trees, the soft settling snow on branches, each sound so subtle it becomes part of the silence itself. Even your own heartbeat becomes part of this forest symphony of rest. Each pulse, a gentle percussion in the greater rhythm of life, slowing down, settling in, finding its place in the vast orchestra of sleeping nature, where every breath, every heartbeat contributes to the overall harmony. This silence teaches patience without preaching, demonstrates peace without trying, shows you how to simply be without doing, how to rest without guilt, how to exist in perfect stillness without feeling the need to justify or explain your presence in this sacred space. Beneath your imagined feet, centuries of fallen leaves have created nature's most perfect mattress. Layer upon layer of maple, oak, and birch leaves, each one adding to the soft foundation that cushions every step and muffles every sound, creating a walking surface more comfortable than any human invention. This forest floor is alive with gentle decomposition, the peaceful process by which endings become beginnings, where last year's leaves transform into next year's soil. The dead feeding the living in an endless cycle of renewal and rebirth that requires no effort, no management, only time and patience. Tiny streams of water trickle between the layers of leaves, creating the softest possible background music, like whispered lullabies sung by the earth itself. These small waterways carry nutrients from decomposing matter to thirsty roots, maintaining the forest's health and vitality even during its deepest sleep. Feel yourself sinking gently into this natural bed, supported completely by layers of softness accumulated over countless seasons. Your body becomes one with this forest floor, returning to the earth, from which all life springs and to which all life returns in the eternal cycle of rest. And your breath now matches perfectly the slow respiration of the sleeping forest. Each inhalation draws in peace like morning mist, filling your lungs with tranquility. Each exhalation releases any remaining tension or worry into the forest, where it dissolves like dew in the warming air. The trees around you breathe in slow cycles, measured in seasons rather than moments. In winter, they breathe out, releasing their leaves, letting go of summer's busy growth. In spring, they breathe in, drawing up new energy, new possibilities, new life from deep roots and patient soil. Feel this seasonal breathing beginning to influence your own rhythm, helping you release what no longer serves while drawing in fresh peace, new calm, deeper rest. Your breathing becomes so gentle, so natural, that it seems the forest itself is breathing through you. With each breath, you sink deeper into harmony with these ancient rhythms, your personal concerns becoming as distant as the sounds of civilization, replaced by the immediate, perfect reality of this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this peaceful settling into complete, restful presence. As the boundaries between yourself and the sleeping forest begin to blur, you find yourself becoming part of the great dream that encompasses all resting life. Your consciousness merges gently with the collective, peaceful breathing of countless sleeping creatures. You are the bear, curled in her den, dreaming of spring berries and sunshine. You are the chipmunk, safe in his burrow, surrounded by carefully gathered winter stores. You are the tree, roots deep, branches patient, waiting for spring's warm return. Your dreams become forest dreams, slow and deep and filled with the wisdom of seasons, the patience of growth, the trust of creatures who know that winter's sleep always leads to spring's awakening. But for now, there is only this perfect rest. Tomorrow, we will explore the final layer of forest peace, the moments just before complete sleep, when consciousness becomes as soft as falling snow, and dreams become indistinguishable from the gentle breathing of the earth itself. But tonight, rest here in this sacred silence, where healing happens naturally, and peace is not an achievement, but a gift freely given to all who surrender to the forest's ancient rhythm of perfect, restful sleep. We have entered the forest's softest hour, when night reaches its deepest embrace and every creature settles into the most peaceful part of their sleep cycle. Your body has become weightless, supported by layers of forest tranquility that have accumulated throughout our gentle journey together. Here, in this sacred space between consciousness and dreams, the forest offers its final teachings about the art of perfect rest. The air itself seems softer now, carrying the combined breath of thousands of sleeping creatures, each one contributing to an atmosphere so peaceful it feels like being wrapped in the world's most comforting blanket. Your breathing has naturally synchronized with this collective rhythm, each inhale drawing in deeper calm, each exhale releasing you further into relaxation. This is the hour when healing happens at its most profound level, when the body's natural repair systems work with quiet efficiency, and when the mind releases its need to process, analyze, or understand. Instead, consciousness becomes like still water, reflecting the moon's gentle light without creating ripples. Feel yourself becoming part of this ancient ritual, the nightly surrender that every forest creature knows instinctively. There is no resistance here, no effort required, only the simple, natural act of allowing yourself to drift, like a leaf on a calm stream, toward the most restful sleep you've ever known. High in the canopy, a great horned owl calls softly to her mate across the moonlit forest. Her voice, deep and resonant, carries a message of safety and protection that seems to settle over the entire woodland like a security blanket. This isn't the sharp hunting call we heard earlier, but the tender communication between partners who have shared many peaceful nights together. Her mate responds from a distant oak, his call harmonizing perfectly with hers, creating a duet that speaks of partnership, territory secured, and all being well in their forest domain. These gentle hoots, spaced far apart and unhurried, become a natural metronome for relaxation, timing your breath, slowing your heartbeat, guiding you deeper into rest. Between their calls, the silence stretches peacefully, filled with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing every inch of territory is safe. Every potential threat has been assessed and found absent. Every small creature under their protection can rest without fear. Their conversation continues throughout the night, a reassuring presence for all who dwell below. Listen as their voices fade into the greater symphony of forest sleep, joining with the whisper of wind through pine needles, the gentle trickle of a distant stream, and your own increasingly peaceful breathing. These sounds don't disturb the quiet. They enhance it, creating layers of tranquility that surround and support your journey into dreams. Silver moonlight filters through the canopy above, creating pools of soft illumination on the forest floor. These gentle beams move slowly as the earth turns, painting shifting patterns of light and shadow that seem to breathe with the forest itself. Each moonbeam carries a quality of peace so pure, it seems to dissolve any remaining tension in your body. The ancient trees, their bark textured with centuries of growth, stand like patient guardians in this moonlit cathedral. Their massive trunks, wider than you could wrap your arms around, speak of stability earned through countless seasons of weather, countless cycles of rest and renewal. In their presence, you feel the deep security that comes from being protected by something infinitely larger and wiser than yourself. Notice how the moonlight reveals the forest's natural architecture. The way fallen logs create perfect benches, how moss grows in soft cushions, how every natural formation seems designed for comfort and rest. This isn't accident, but the result of millions of years of evolution, creating an environment perfectly suited for peaceful sleep. The moon above, moving slowly across the star-filled sky, marks time in the gentlest possible way. Not the harsh tick of mechanical clocks, but the soft progression of natural cycles that have guided life's rhythms since the beginning of time. In this moonlit moment, you are connected to every creature that has ever found peace beneath the same celestial light. Around you, the great trees are deep in their own form of sleep, their sap flowing slowly through bark and branch, carrying nutrients and messages at a pace measured in hours rather than seconds. Each tree is connected to its neighbors through underground networks of roots and fungi, creating a forest-wide web of communication and support that continues even in sleep. These sleeping giants process the day's accumulation of sunlight, converting it slowly into the energy that will fuel next year's growth. Their dreams, if trees dream, might be of spring buds, summer leaves, the gentle rain that nourishes their roots, and the countless creatures that make their homes in branch and hollow. The wisdom they hold, accumulated over decades or even centuries of growth, settles into the forest air like invisible incense. Standing among them, you breathe in this ancient knowledge, this patient understanding of how to grow slowly and steadily, how to bend without breaking, how to rest deeply when rest is needed. Feel their root systems, spreading deep beneath you, creating a foundation so stable and secure that no storm could disturb your rest here. Their presence, solid and reassuring, reminds you that some things in this world are permanent, trustworthy, worthy of your complete relaxation and trust. In hidden corners of the forest, where moonlight pools in clearings, night-blooming flowers are opening their petals to the cool air. These ghost-white blossoms, visible only in darkness, release fragrances so subtle and sweet they seem to carry dreams on their breath. Evening primrose, moonflower, night-blooming cereus, each one a secret gift from the forest to those who venture deep enough into peaceful darkness to discover them. Their perfumes blend with the earth-rich scent of moss, the clean smell of dew-dampened leaves, and the fresh coolness of night air, creating an aromatherapy more complex and soothing than any human creation. Breathing in these natural fragrances, you feel your nervous system responding. Muscles releasing, mind quieting, body preparing for the deepest possible rest. These night flowers, blooming in secret, remind us that some of the most beautiful things happen in the world is quiet, when attention turns inward, when we stop rushing and allow natural processes to unfold at their own perfect pace. Their gentle beauty, visible only to those who embrace the darkness, teaches us to find gifts in quietude. The insects that visit these night blossoms move with peaceful purpose, no frantic buzzing or rushing, just the soft whisper of wings as moths and beetles go about their gentle pollination work. Even these smallest creatures understand that night is a time for quiet activity, for moving slowly, for savoring each moment rather than rushing toward the next. Beneath the forest floor, hidden streams flow through networks of caves and channels, carrying peace through the earth like underground rivers of tranquility. These waters, fed by centuries of gentle rain, filtered through layers of soil and stone, rise occasionally to create the small springs that nourish the forest's deepest places. The sound of these hidden waters, too subtle to hear directly, nevertheless influences the forest's atmosphere, adding a quality of flow and movement to the stillness, like the barely perceptible pulse of life itself. This underground circulation connects every part of the forest, creating a hydraulic nervous system that carries information and nutrients to where they're needed most. Following these water veins with your imagination, you can trace pathways that lead to the very heart of the earth, where pressure and time transform water into something more precious than any surface stream. These deep waters, when they finally emerge as springs, carry the concentrated peace of the underground world, the wisdom of stone, the patience of geological time. Feel yourself connected to these deep waters, your own body's circulation flowing with similar quiet purpose, carrying healing and restoration to every cell, every tissue, every part of your being that needs renewal. Like the forest's hidden streams, your blood carries peace to places that haven't experienced true rest in far too long. As midnight deepens toward the smallest hours, all the forest's sleeping creatures seem to join in one vast shared dream. The hibernating bear dreams of summer berries and sunshine warming her thick fur. The burrowed chipmunk dreams of autumn abundance and the satisfaction of well-stocked stores. The roosting birds dream of soaring above green canopies in warm spring air. Your own dreams begin to merge with theirs, creating a tapestry of peaceful images. Forest paths that lead to hidden meadows, streams that sing lullabies, ancient trees that whisper stories of seasons beyond counting. These shared visions connect you to the greater community of dreamers, all seeking rest, all finding peace, all supported by the forest's infinite capacity for healing sleep. The boundary between individual consciousness and collective forest dream becomes as soft as mist, as permeable as morning fog. You are yourself, yet also part of something much larger. A sleeping forest where every breath, every heartbeat contributes to an atmosphere of such profound peace that healing happens simply by being present in it. In this dream circle, time moves differently. Past and future dissolve into an eternal present, where the only reality is this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this gentle settling deeper into rest. Problems that seemed important earlier fade like shadows at dawn, replaced by the simple, perfect reality of being held safely in the forest's dreaming embrace. A gentle breeze, soft as a whispered blessing, moves to the uppermost branches of the canopy, carrying with it the promise that all is well, all is safe, all is exactly as it should be in this peaceful forest sanctuary. This wind, barely strong enough to rustle leaves, nevertheless carries profound messages of comfort and security to every creature below. The wind's gentle voice, speaking in the ancient language of moving air through living branches, tells stories of other forests, other peaceful nights, other creatures who have found rest in nature's embrace. Its whisper becomes the final lullaby, the last gentle encouragement to let go completely and allow yourself to drift into the deepest sleep. Feel this sacred breeze brushing softly across your relaxed body, carrying away any last traces of tension, any remaining thoughts, any final concerns about the world beyond this peaceful forest clearing. The wind becomes your ally in relaxation, your partner in the gentle art of complete surrender to rest. As the breeze fades to perfect stillness and the forest settles into its deepest quiet, you find yourself balanced on the very edge of sleep, supported by centuries of accumulated peace, surrounded by the protection of ancient guardians, ready now for the most restful night you've ever experienced. Tomorrow, we will complete our journey with a final ritual of gratitude and release, But tonight, let this wind carry you gently into dreams where you are always safe, always peaceful, always deeply and perfectly at rest. As we prepare for our final moments together in this ancient forest sanctuary, let us gently remember the incredible journey we've shared. We began by climbing high into the canopy, where the silent hunters taught us about patience and precision. The great horned owls, with their supernatural stealth, showed us that true power often moves without sound, without drama, with perfect timing. We glided through moonbeams with flying squirrels and bats, learning that there are many ways to navigate through life's challenges. Some creatures use wings, others use membranes, all demonstrating that grace comes from working with natural forces rather than fighting against them. Their effortless movement through three-dimensional space reminded us that freedom often comes from surrendering to larger currents. In the middle layers of our forest, we met the clever raccoon families, whose patient investigation of their world taught us the value of curiosity balanced with wisdom. Their gentle teaching methods, the way mothers guided their young, showed us that the best education comes from hands-on experience, supported by unconditional love and protection. Among the quiet understory, we discovered the tiny white-footed mice, the patient porcupines, and the wise opossums, all demonstrating that size has nothing to do with importance in nature's grand design. Each creature, no matter how small, plays an essential role in maintaining the forest's delicate balance, just as each of us, no matter how we might sometimes feel, has irreplaceable value in the larger web of existence. On the forest floor, we walked with the skilled hunters, shrews, weasels, and foxes, who taught us about reading the subtle signs that surround us constantly. Their ability to move through complex environments without disturbing the peace showed us how to live with awareness without anxiety, how to be fully present without being aggressive or intrusive. The great guardians of the forest, lynx, wolves, and gentle bears, demonstrated that true leadership comes from understanding your place in the larger community. These powerful predators, far from being destructive forces, served as careful gardeners, maintaining the health of entire ecosystems through their patient, purposeful presence. We witnessed the tender family bonds that connect all forest creatures, the devotion of mothers, the cooperation of pack members, the gentle teaching methods that pass wisdom from one generation to the next. In their examples, we saw that love is not weakness, but the strongest force in nature, the foundation upon which all life safely rests. Finally, we explored the deep mysteries of forest sleep, how creatures prepare for winter's rest, how they surrender completely to natural cycles, and how the entire forest breathes together in rhythms older than human civilization. Their wisdom about rest, about patience, about working with rather than against natural forces has prepared us for the most peaceful sleep of our own lives. If you've stayed with us through this entire journey into the forest's heart, you are truly one of the rare souls who understands the value of slowing down, of listening deeply, of finding peace in nature's ancient rhythms. You belong to a special community now, those who know that the most profound adventures often happen in the quietest places. Leave a comment below and tell us which forest creature spoke to your heart most deeply. Was it the patient owl, teaching us about perfect timing? The clever raccoon, showing us how curiosity leads to wisdom? Or perhaps the hibernating bear, demonstrating the courage it takes to surrender completely to rest? If you're planning to join us again for our next journey into the ocean's deepest mysteries, leave the word depths in your comment, and we'll know you're ready to explore how whales and dolphins create their own underwater lullabies, how deep-sea creatures navigate in complete darkness, using wisdom we can barely imagine. Don't forget to subscribe if this forest journey has brought you the peace you were seeking. There are so many more natural sanctuaries waiting to share their secrets. So many more teachers in fur and feather, ready to guide us toward deeper rest, greater wisdom, more complete harmony with the world around us, and the quiet wisdom that lives within our own hearts. Even when you leave this virtual forest, you can carry its peace with you into your everyday life. Remember the raccoon's patient investigation when you face complex problems. Channel the owl's perfect timing when decisions need to be made. Draw upon the bear's wisdom about when to be active and when to rest deeply. Create small rituals that connect you to forest wisdom. Before making important decisions, take 3 deep breaths, like the deer listening for danger. When facing challenges, remember the tree's flexibility, their ability to bend without breaking. When overwhelmed, think of the hibernating creatures who know that sometimes the wisest response is to rest, to wait, to trust that spring always follows winter. Keep something from nature near your sleeping space. A smooth stone, a piece of driftwood, a pressed leaf, something that reminds you of the peace you've found here in this forest of the mind, where healing happens naturally and rest comes as easily as breathing. Most importantly, remember that you always have a place of refuge in the natural world. Whether it's an actual forest, a city park, or simply the memory of this peaceful place, you can return here whenever you need to remember what true rest feels like, what perfect peace sounds like, what complete safety feels like. Now, as we prepare for the deepest part of our forest sleep ritual, imagine yourself lying down on the softest bed nature has ever created. Centuries of fallen leaves have formed layers beneath you, each one adding to the perfect support that cradles your body like the gentlest possible embrace. The moss grows thick here, soft as velvet, green as emeralds, creating a natural pillow that perfectly fits the contours of your head and neck. Above you, ancient branches interweave like protective arms, creating a living canopy that shields you from any disturbance, any worry, any concern about the world beyond this peaceful clearing. Feel the earth's warmth rising gently through the layers of natural bedding. The forest's own central heating system, powered by the slow decomposition of countless leaves and branches, creating exactly the right temperature for perfect rest. Neither too warm nor too cool, but precisely what your body needs for healing sleep. The air here carries the perfect blend of fragrances: pine needles, wild flowers, moss, and the clean, sweet scent of morning dew. Each breath fills your lungs with pure tranquility, while your body sinks deeper into this natural bed that seems custom-made for your complete comfort and rest. Around your resting place, the great guardians take their positions for the night watch. The wise owl settles on her branch above you, her keen eyes scanning the darkness, her sharp hearing monitoring every sound, ready to alert you to anything that might disturb your peaceful rest. The gentle bear finds her comfortable spot at the edge of your clearing, her massive presence a guarantee that nothing harmful will come near while you sleep. Her slow, steady breathing creates a rhythm of absolute safety, a natural metronome for your own peaceful respiration. The wolf pack spreads out in a protective circle, each member positioned to guard, a different approach to your sanctuary. Their ancient partnership with sleeping humans reawakens tonight as they remember their role as guardians of peaceful dreams, protectors of healing rest. Even the trees themselves seem to lean inward slightly, creating walls of living protection around your sleeping space. Their roots intertwine beneath you, creating a foundation so stable, so secure, that no storm could disturb your rest here, in this sacred grove where peace has been gathering for centuries. Your breathing now synchronizes perfectly with the forest's own ancient rhythm. Each inhale draws in not just air, but the accumulated peace of this timeless place. The wisdom of countless creatures who have found rest here. The healing energy that flows through root and branch and leaf. Feel your heartbeat slowing to match the barely perceptible pulse of sap moving through sleeping trees. Your circulation becomes part of the forest's own life flow, carrying peace to every cell, every tissue, every part of your being that has been waiting so patiently for this moment of complete restoration. The boundary between your body and the forest floor begins to dissolve. You are not lying on the earth. You are becoming part of the earth, your breath merging with the forest's breath, your dreams joining the great collective dream of all sleeping forest creatures. Time itself begins to move like honey, sweet and slow, measured not in seconds or minutes, but in the gentle rhythm of seasons, the patient pace of growth, the unhurried flow of natural cycles that have guided life on Earth since the very beginning of time itself. As consciousness becomes as soft as morning mist, and thoughts drift away like leaves on a gentle breeze, feel yourself releasing any last connection to the busy world beyond this sacred forest sanctuary. Your body grows heavier, more relaxed with each breath, sinking deeper into the earth's embrace, while your spirit becomes lighter, more free, ready to soar through dreams as beautiful as moonlight, dancing on still water. The forest gathers you into its ancient arms, the same arms that have held countless generations of weary travelers, all seeking what you have found here tonight. Perfect peace, complete safety, absolute rest. Let go now of any need to stay awake, to remain alert, to keep watch. The forest will watch for you. The guardians will keep you safe. The ancient trees will shelter your dreams. The earth itself will hold you gently through the healing hours of night. Sleep now, deep and peaceful, knowing that tomorrow brings another chance to carry this forest wisdom into your daily life. But tonight, rest completely in the knowledge that you are held safely in nature's perfect embrace, where healing happens naturally and dreams are as gentle as falling snow on silent branches. Sweet dreams, dear forest wanderer, until we meet again in Wednesday's ocean depths, where whales sing lullabies in the language of the deep.